Welcome back, friends. I'm glad you could come back and join us for a little bit more of our Pioneer Talk. As you can see, we have switched pioneers, and now we have Mr. John Zellner and his beautiful wife, Pat. And they're pioneers here as well. Mr. Zellner's great-grandfather or your grandfather?
Great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather was Elijah Zellner, right? Elijah Arnold Zellner.
That's his father.
Oh, that was your father?
Well, he was named after Elisha.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but then right, because there was two.
Yeah.
There was the grandfather, and then, and he started here about the same time that John Paul Formey Duval did, you were saying,
Yes,
in the 1860s?
Age 63.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, he had an arm missing.
Yes.
From the war.
Shot off in the war.
So did Formey Duval. I think that's kind of neat. As I'm doing the things, there's lots of them here that started, that were missing an appendage from the war. Most of them Civil War soldiers then that got this land from, for fighting, for homesteading, right?
Yep.
Now, so you've grown up in Floral City, and I see where, I've known you personally my entire life, and so I know that you've been into horse racing, and you've had thoroughbreds, and I read those history books, and you've got lots of stuff going on. What was it like to grow up here, or to live here, both of you, in the, the days when there wasn't technology and things? I mean, Floral City's a little out of the way, so.
Well, it's a lot different then than it is now. I was born and raised 3 miles out of town, so we didn't see much of town.
Right.
Saturdays usually until school started, and then we rode a school bus, so we were isolated pretty much. Mm-hmm. We got to go to town on Saturdays, and while the folks shopped, so we'd have something to eat during the week, but we raised most of everything that we had to eat.
Yeah, it's like when Mr. Bassett was saying that, you had chickens and cows, and they weren't just pets and farm animals, they provided your food for you.
That's right.
So,
we had a milk cow always, and we always had a big garden, so we've had most of what we ate at home.
And lots of kids, I imagine.
Yeah,
back in those days.
Of us.
Lots of children, yeah.
Yeah.
And they helped on the farm. I mean, that was very important.
That was the reason we had 5 children. So they could do the farm work, keep the farm going.
Exactly. Now, so then that was your great-grandfather, correct? The first one.
Yeah.
And then Elisha Arnold Zellner, the second one, was your grandfather then?
My father's name was Elisha Arnold.
Oh, your father, okay.
And
all right.
great-grandfather was Elisha Arnold. My grandfather was Millard Fillmore.
Right.
My brother was named after him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the two of you, I remember your brother. He was on the school board and things as well?
Yes.
Very, very instrumental in the community.
School board 28 years.
School board, yeah. The Zellner name is one of those like the Landrums and the Priests and the Bassets, and they've been here for a long time, the Rookses. Matter of fact, sometimes you look at those history books and the families go from this family to this family, back to this family, to this family, to this family. And
most
my family
of them
too.
were kin somehow or other.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I find looking back that's where they came from. I mean, the people that came here, when you look at the censuses from, like, say, North Carolina, a lot of the people that were around them came with them.
Yeah.
I mean, these were pioneering people. These weren't just somebody that said, I want to move to another state, hopped in their car, loaded up their U-Haul, and away they went, and they started a new house in a new place. It wasn't like that. I mean, these were pioneering people that had to start over and start fresh and go into places that had, untamed territory, I imagine it was back then.
The Civil War started the movement south because people lost their plantations. That's what happened with my great-grandfather. He lost his arm in the war, and he went back home. They sent him home with a horse. And when he got back home, his plantation was burned. He had nothing. There was nothing in Alabama, so he moved south, loaded up his family, and moved down here. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it happened with most everybody. They moved south because they didn't have anything to do.
Right. Now, Miss Pat, are you from here? Have you lived here your whole life too? Or?
No, I was born in Leesburg, Florida. Mm-hmm. And I've only been here about 50 years.
50.
So.
Just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anybody to suit me over here. I had to go to Leesburg to get her.
You had to go get a good one, a lady from the city, huh? She is quite a lady as well, yes.
Yeah. It was all new to me, though, moving to the farm. Mm-hmm. Because we made our living with citrus and cattle. And I was going to ride English with my little hard hat and post, and these cowboys with their Western stuff and hanging onto the saddle horn, and I made fun of them until I actually rode one of their horses and I found out what a saddle horn was for.
Hold on, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys again for coming and being part of this today in our little pioneer story. And I want to thank you also for being such a huge part of my life since I've been growing up here. And I've learned so much from you, and the inspiration and that pioneering spirit that I keep talking about shows through you. And you've shown it to people like me to carry on. And I am utterly grateful for the both of you. So thank you so much.
It's been wonderful knowing your family and watching you grow up.
Thank you. And that's the beautiful part of a community.
That's
Aunt
Floral
Martha.
City.
We love Aunt
Floral
Martha.
City.
Yes, we do. We love Aunt Martha. So.
She's the best.
Okay, friends, stay tuned. I want you to come with me to the next segment. We're going to go up to the cemetery, and we're going to turn some of those just plain old, ordinary cemetery stones into real, live, living pioneers. So stay tuned.